All right, how's everybody doing tonight? If you can hear me, someone just let me know if you can hear the audio. I've been having some technical issues lately, more user involved than anything else, but if you can hear me, go ahead and say something, please. All right, well, tonight I'm going to be doing something a little bit different from last week. I am going to play a record album, and then I'm going to do an open mic, so I will pin the link a little bit later on here. But tonight's album is the 1970 Dodge announcement show. This is a promotional item that Chrysler put out in 1970. It features the great talents and show tunes from the Dodge All Star Sports staff. We got Fran Tarkenton doing Francis Knows the Answers, Dave Bing, Charging Charger, Lee Trevino, The Dart Game, Mickey Lolick and Bill Freehan, Press On to Polera, and Don Knotts for the Dodge Trucks. And then there's going to have the all new Dodge Challenger theme song, plus performance and new feature information, advertising for 1970 with Joe Garagiola. This thing was put out. It's on a 7-inch 33 and a third album. Not many of them were made. I do have the original record and the original cardboard sleeve. It's called 1970. It's time to get turned on. You belong in a Dodge, and other great hits from the 1970 Dodge announcement show. So I'm going to go ahead and get that playing. It's two sides, and once it's done, I will pin the link. See you in a few.
You belong in a Dodge where you belong. Put one in your garage, and you're ready to come on strong. You belong in a Dodge. You belong in a Dodge. You belong in a Dodge. Now the 70s have begun. Time to tell it to everyone. You belong in the dashing Dodge. It's the one thing you know. It's the one thing you know. When you're ready to go. When you're ready to go. When you want a performance car. Dodge is in a performance car. You belong in a groove. You belong in a move. Groovy moving that's Dodge. You belong in a Dodge. You belong in a Dodge. Nothing but a Dodge gives you everything. Nothing but a Dodge is quick and serious. Cars that make the winter spring. Cars that let you know they got that thing. Got that thing. Cars that swing. Cars that swing. Got that thing. Got that thing. Dig a Dodge. You belong in a Dodge. In a Dodge is where you belong. Put one in your garage, and you're ready to come on strong. You belong in a Dodge. You belong in a Dodge. You belong in a Dodge. Now the 70s have begun. Time to tell it to everyone. You belong in the dashing Dodge. It's the one thing you know. It's the one thing you know. When you're ready to go. When you're ready to go. When you want a performance car. Dodge is in a performance car. You belong in a groove. You belong in a move. You belong in a Dodge. This year is not like any you see. This year we break existing routine. We have Frank Tarkenton pick his own passing star. Then we award Frank the man to the winning call. The teams are lining up with the center bending down, ready to hatch the ball. Everybody listen real close, and you can hear the scrambler making the winning call.
Francis knows the answers. Francis knows the answers. Francis knows the answers. And the answers in a shiny coronet. Francis knows the answers. Francis knows the answers. Francis knows the answers, and the answers in a shiny coronet.
Oh, Mr. Talking Tent, coronet makes parking fun. Let him see daylight, and he's in. Ryan and Coronet, they're both the light of life. They each have the drive to win.
Francis knows the answers. Francis knows the answers. Francis knows the answers, and the answers in a shiny coronet.
Challenger, 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 challenger. Challenger.
When it's quality, you stand up bold, then you're a challenger. Standing up, demanding more and more makes you a challenger. Dodgers built a car precisely for your kind. Want to satisfy your soul and ease your mind. That's challenging the auto world with you, challenger. Challenger. Once you're in the grip, you'll soon be hip to the new challenger. Challenger. Once you try the ride, you'll soon decide you want a challenger. Challenger. Always ready to take anybody on. Through the looking glass, she passes and she's gone. Now just challenging the auto world with the new challenger. 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 On the road, she outperforms the rest. Thunderbolt Challenger. She combines the features of the best. Thunderbolt Challenger. Always ready to take anybody on. Through the looking glass, she passes and she's gone. Challengers have just a name. It's a great new car, not just a great new car, a great new challenger.
All right, so that's side one of the cool, funky, somewhat groovy, somewhat dorky and cheesy. We're going to go to side two, where it's Dodge Dart, Polara, Charger charges on, and a reprise of You Belong in a Dodge. Be with you back in a few minutes.
It's the new young thing to do the dark thing.
This hood is housing powerful horses.
It's a charging charger.
For most of Dodge's driving forces.
It's a charging charger.
Put this charger up against competitors, then call all the nation's leading editors. Just let them pick their own glowing metaphors.
Charger charges on.
What it can't do ain't worth doing.
It's a charging charger.
Once inside, always something new in.
Every charging charger.
Charger changes every man who drives, and it knows he's seen the moment he arrives. And it young people find that they change their lives, and it charger charges on.
Off it goes, setting trends. Every moment the highway bends. Chargers coming and going by.
This one here's the new 500.
It's a charging charger.
It took off when the starting gun did.
It's a charging charger.
Put this charger up against competitors, then call all the nation's leading editors. Just let them pick their own glowing metaphors.
Charger charges on. Charge against the old college try. In the case of each college guy, charger means something larger.
This hood is housing powerful horses.
It's the charging charger.
Forces.
It's the charging charger.
Charger changes every man who drives, and it knows he's seen the moment he arrives. And it young people find that they change their lives, and it charger charges on.
Charger charges on.
Charges on.
Charger charges on.
Charges on.
Charger charges on.
If they try to check a chicken at Charger.
In the Dodge is where you belong. Put one in your garage, and you're ready to come on strong. You belong in the Dodge. You belong in the Dodge. You belong in the Dodge. Now the 70s have begun. Time to tell it to everyone. You belong in the dashing Dodge.
It's the one thing to know.
It's the one thing we know.
When you're ready to go.
When you're ready to go.
When you want a performance car.
Dodge is in a performance car. You belong in the groove. You belong in the groove. Groovy movie, that's Dodge. You belong in the Dodge. You belong in a Dodge.
Well, I think it was quite clear what they're saying there. I think you guys belong in a Dodge for 1970. That was actually a pretty funky radio, pretty short record album. Like I said, it was a promotional thing that Dodge put out. They obviously used not the best talent from 1970. I could only imagine Jim Morrison and the Doors doing this album, or maybe a little bit of Rolling Stones, Creedence Clearwater. Hell, even Grateful Dead. All those guys would have probably put Dodge into bankruptcy, but would have been a cult classic all at the same time. What I need to do real quick is I need to switch over my microphone, so just give me 1 second.
All right, there we go. Just had to switch microphones real quick. What I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to pin the link in there if anybody would like to join. Um, like I said, I have a whole bunch of these record albums. I'm going to be doing them every Thursday night. Some of them are going to be drag racing related. Some will be promotional albums. Some stuff of it is pretty obscure. We got a lot of people in the house tonight, and one of them just joined is Max Wedge Dick Dastardly. Hello, how are you doing tonight? Yes, Black Sabbath would have been a good one. Next week, it's going to be for Brian from B&R Racing. He's a big Pontiac guy, and I've got a promotional album from Pontiac. It is called the Gito Tiger. They had two of them. They were also 33 and a third, 7-inch albums, and there was two versions of it that were put out. It was a band called the Tigers that was put on by Pontiac. One of them only has the songs on it called the Gito Tiger, and another one actually that was done for dealers only for the Gito Tiger contest actually has a pretty funky take on the GTO Proving Grounds. So next Thursday we're going to do that along with a promotional album that Chevrolet put out with Paul Revere and the Raiders, and the band called The Circle. It was the song called SS 396 and Camaro. Columbia Special Products put that out in creation for the Chevrolet dealers. I want to say it is for, there's a year on here, maybe 1968 or 69. Hell, I don't know. We'll find out before next week. Got a week to do it. And this next week sounds like it's going to be pretty snowy, pretty crappy, all that type of stuff. Speaking of that, we got a whole bunch of shitball weather coming up in the next few days. I'm located in central Illinois. We're going to be, sounds like maybe on the tail end of some stuff. Could be rain, could be snow. B&R Racing lives north of me. It sounds like he's going to get pummeled with snow, while I'm going to get a mixture of rain and snow. So we shall see, guys. We shall see. I'm actually working on, in my basement, I'm working on a studio in my basement to do lives. It's going to be car themed. It's going to be pretty cool. I've been working on that probably for the last week or so. Hopefully have it done in less than a month. But it's going to be pretty neat, and I actually plan on having some guests actually live on a live. Yeah, Nathan, you're north of me too. You're way north of me though. Supposed to snow tomorrow night. Can't wait to drive in it. Yeah, um, I'm supposed to be leaving Saturday morning to pick up chassis tubing for a front engine dragster heading to St. Louis. That should be pretty interesting. So we will see on that. Hope everyone's weekend is going to be nice, other than the absolute bullshit weather we're going to start seeing here pretty soon. If everyone did notice, John Wilburn did announce the dates for the No Name Nationals. You guys can go check that on his channel or go to Google and look up No Name Nationals 2024. The first 2 years was actually pretty good. Last year I actually got to race, even though I broke. Had a whole lot of fun though. Dougster says, what do you call a four-door chicken coop? A chicken sedan. Oh, we'll be here all night. Yeah, Junkyard D, January weather. Although we've been quite lucky. It's been pretty mild last few, actually like last 2 months. So I'll take it, but it sounds like if it's been mild for the last couple months, we're going to get absolutely pummeled in January and February. 6% recycled. Hello, how are you tonight? Jason, we're supposed to get up to 12 inches of snow. Then it'll be negative 13. Yeah, I hate winter time, but I can actually deal with the snow. I don't like that super, super, super cold weather. Corn tornadoes tomorrow. Yep. It's pretty crazy how this storm is creating lots of snow north, snow and rain in the mid, all kinds of cold temperatures in the south. It is creating tornadic activity along with the cold weather. So what's everyone got going on tonight? Anything fun? It is Thursday. I'm actually thinking about, if you guys want me to do it, I do have the record album for the Gito Tigers. If you guys would like to hear the funkiness of that, it's actually pretty cool. So if you guys want to hear that, just let me know. Here's a shot of what it looks like. It's the Jito Tigers. It's actually pretty neat. Let me get this opened up here. So it's a pretty cool record album. It was, like I said, this is the promotional copy. The copy that went out for, I guess, play at, different places and all that. This was released in July of 1965. This was pretty cool, but the one that they did for dealerships and promotional was this one here. And it's actually pretty neat. Let me open this up. It's actually kind of like a little photo or a little brochure with it. It's a musical tribute, to America's most popular performance car, the GTO. She's got a wide track action on groovy set of redline tires. 389 and all super tune, really down, shut them down. It's kind of neat. If you notice here in the corner, the guy is actually wearing a suit and the shirt is tiger striped. I like this one. It has big sounds of the GTO Tiger, the Jito Tiger, which that was the band there. In my friend Kyle's shop, I actually do have an original poster of this signed by them in his shop that I came across years ago. But the Proving Grounds, General Motors Proving Grounds. Now you've heard the Jito Tiger swing. Now listen to it scream. It is actually really, really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and, since Brian is a big Pontiac guy, I'm going to go ahead and play that. If I can find my 45 adapter. Give me 2 seconds. I will be right back. All right. Well, I'm back. I did find my 45 adapter. Many of you are probably much older than me. That's not a dig at anybody. But Duran, muscle car communion, that's a good question. I'm going to have to find the answer to that. But one thing kind of cool is I was at Sun Studio, the original Sun Studio in Memphis this summer, along with a lot of other cool places in the South I went. But they actually make the little 45 RPM adapter you can get. Yeah, 38 POS Racing. Welcome. 45 adapter. Just use a 2/5-inch fender washer. So yes, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play this one for B&R. It is actually really, really neat. Well, let me rephrase that. It is cheesy. So if you guys thought what I just played with Dodge was a little bit cheesy, well, this one's cheesy, but it is actually, in my opinion, really, really cool. It's a couple minutes long. Let me get that going, and I will switch it over to that. Give me 1 second.
Hi. Hope you haven't been waiting long. Let's see, where's that car we want? Ah, there it is. It's that special gold hardtop over there next to the blue Bonneville, number 36. It's the one we call the Jito Tiger. As you can see, it's got rally wheels and redline tires on it. Let's get in, huh? You better use your belt. We're going to do some pretty tough testing. Well, I hope this baby has the equipment we wanted. Let's see, it ought to be listed on this card hooked to the sun visor. Yeah, we got the big engine, 360 horses, 390-to-1 safety track rear end, close ratio 4-speed stick with a 220-to-1 first gear, and a Hurst floor shift. Say, how do you like this wood steering wheel? Even feels like wood, but can I tell you, it really isn't wood. It's better than wood, as a matter of fact, and it won't splinter like wood does either. And over here, we've got the two-way radio. You see, while on test here at the General Motors Proving Grounds, we're in constant radio communication with Pontiac Central Control. Let's see if we can get them now. Pontiac Test Control Center. This is Pontiac Engineering Test Car 36.
Yeah, 36, you're all clear for trials. Use the ride and handling loop, circular high-speed track, east-west straightaway, and the skid pad. When you get to the ride and handling loop, let me have your engine temperature, oil temperature, and pressure, and drop your exhaust.
Control, this is 36. We've just reached Blacktop. Speed 50, very little tire noise. Up to 60, handling perfect. Gonna take her up to 70. We're coming to the torsion bumps and washboard now. I'm getting a little vertical sheet metal shake from front corners of the hood. No dancing though. Slight shock over the washboard. Approaching railroad tracks. Rebound normal with slight bottoming on the tracks. I'm now at the end of the ride and handling loop and heading for the high-speed circular track. Over. Car 36 now at the access road.
Okay, 36. Our test car number 34, white GP, is just about at the 2.5-mile marker and doing 95. Proceed slowly to the track entrance. As soon as 34 passes you, you have 20 seconds to enter and accelerate to your approved test speed. Remember, 36, you're only cleared for 110 miles an hour.
Here we go. There's 100. 105. 107. 110. Hello, control, car 36, holding at 110. No sway, no sheet metal flutter. Control, this is 36. Just completed 10 laps at 110 miles per hour. How about clearance to leave the circular track?
You're all clear, 36. Proceed to the east-west straightaway to start brake fade testing.
Car 36 holding at 100. Mark. Mark. Brake line pressure was at 1850 psi.
You brake from 100 to 0 in 4.5 seconds. Start next test when ready.
Well, there's 20 of them.
That's it for brake testing. Pull around to the East Super for your acceleration runs, 36. A crew is waiting there to install your fifth wheel.
Hello, control. This is 36. Fifth wheel in position. Ready to start acceleration tests.
Okay, 36. You will run a series of standing quarter-mile runs. Start when ready.
Mark. Mark, quarter mile, 102.5 miles per hour.
That was a good run, 36. You turned the quarter in 14.1. Prepare for second acceleration series now, 36. 36, that's it for today. Head back to the Pontiac garage for inspection.
Roger. You know, after all this testing, slowing down to the speed limits on our access roads almost seems like we're standing still, doesn't it? You know, we have speed limits here at the Proving Grounds, just like the public roads. And we're proud to say that the GM Proving Grounds is probably the safest place in the world to drive. As a matter of fact, since 1958, we haven't lost a single day due to driving injury. Well, that's our G-Tow Tiger. What do you think of it?
All right. Well, that one was actually pretty cool. Like I said, there's also another side with that, with their promotional song they had for that. J-Bo actually brought up something pretty cool. He was talking about the cardboard records. And since I do collect records mainly in the automotive side, that did kind of remind me of something. AMT Model Company, way, way, way back when, in the 60s, they actually had cardboard records, which is actually neat, and I happen to have some of them. I want to say there was only 4 of them put out. Let me see here. And was it 4? 3 or 4. And I do have them. Of all things, I do have them. So let me show these to you. Yes, J-Bo, the fifth wheel was like a draggy of the 1960s. It would look like a measuring wheel that they would stick to the side of the car, and it would do all the diagnostics in analog, not electronically as today. Wendy and Brian, I'm going to let you guys hear in a minute. I'm going to play something real quick just to show you guys something pretty neat here. So let me show this to the camera. So AMT presents, if I can get it in view, The Sound of the Cobra. This is a cardboard record album, and if you see, it's actually got the grooves in it. This is a hard one to find. And along with The Sounds of Drag Racing. One of them is Part 1, Double A Fuelers, featuring Tom the Mongoose McEwen, and Part 2 is Sounds of Drag Racing, Part 2, Funny Cars, featuring Gas Rhonda. So what I'm going to do is I am going to play one of these, and then I'm going to open it up so Brian and Wendy, you guys will be able to come in. But I'm going to get one of these playing first. I think I'm going to do the Sounds of Drag Racing of the Funny Car first. And by the way, it is Auravision. They're 33 and a third. Like I said, they're cardboard. They're kind of fragile, but let's see what they actually sound like. If it sounds like crap, just let me know. It's kind of funny seeing something cardboard spin around in a circle.
All right, here we go.
AMT's here today at Irwindale Raceway to see the first official test run of Gas Rhonda's fantastic new 69 Mustang funny car. Right now, let's meet Gas Rhonda. Gas, your new car really looks wild. Would you tell our listeners about it?
It has a new Mach 1 body, and as you can see, it has the very latest Logie chassis. Also, I have the more powerful 429 Ford engine, and the car aerodynamically is designed for higher speeds. I hope to crack 200 miles an hour, and I hope I run in the low 70s.
Gas, I see you spin your tires several times before you make a run. Why do you do this?
Well, most of the funny cars have a transmission, and we must get our tires hot in order to get the maximum traction. This is why we spin them like we do.
Now Gas is getting ready to make a run. Let's hear what a funny car sounds like. Gas, that was a fantastic run.
Yeah, it was out of sight, wasn't it?
Gas, it's kind of ironic that your name is Gas Rhonda and you're a famous funny car driver. Is Gas your real name?
You know, that's the funniest question that I'm asked at every track. My name is Gaspar Rhonda, and I've been called Gas ever since I was a young fella, so I've just kept the name, and it worked out just great because of my racing career.
While we're watching Gas Rhonda put on his flame suit, mask, and helmet, let's place the tape recorder next to his seat and take a ride with him down the quarter mile.
certainly appreciated being out here today with you, Gas. It's been a real pleasure for us and our listeners. Well, I have enjoyed doing this for all the AMT listeners. And when they build their 1969 Mustang funny car, I hope they bring it by to the track so I can see it.
All right, so that there is one of the AMT records. Like I said, they're short. These were cardboard, a kind of a little promotional item made by Aurora Vision for AMT. Kind of neat item. I have a lot of these records. I used to have a much bigger collection, and I actually had a massive amount of vintage drag racing stuff. And I, for about 10 years, used to travel to drag races and car shows with Mr. Norm Kraus from Grant Spalding Dodge. The one album that's in a private collection now with a friend of mine that I really want to get back it's a silver paper sleeved 33 1/3 7-inch album. It was two sides. One of them was a match race against Jim Thornton and the Ram Chargers at Ubley Dragway in Michigan. And the other side was the Buckinghams singing the Let's Get With the Go Group theme song that Norm had them do for a radio spot. It was their radio jingle. I want to say it was 1965 or 1966. But the funny story behind that is he really wanted to have his own radio jingle theme song. The Buckinghams were somewhat local. They came to him looking for a vehicle, so he traded them a lease of a van for their band to travel in for a theme song. It worked out for both ends, and that is a very elusive record to find. They were pressed locally in Chicago. I think they were $1 a piece at the time, and I am looking for one. So if anybody ever comes across that, I'm willing to pay some very good money for it. So it's going to be pretty neat. But with that, I'm going to let some people in the house. We're going to let in Brian Reeland, and from B&R Racing, and Wendy English. What's going on, Dan? How are you tonight? YouTube watcher. We also got another new guy in here tonight, Long Island Mopars. Welcome. Glad to see you in the house. I'm Jeff from Two Hacks Garage. I am an automotive enthusiast. You saw the T-Bird in the background. Funny story about that. I'm actually a Mopar guy, but this was my uncle's car, and I turned it into a somewhat fun vehicle. It's 521 cubic inches and gets 0 miles to the gallon. Hello, Wendy. Hello, Brian.
Hey, Jeff. Nice to meet you, Brian.
Nice to meet you, Colleen.
How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Usually I'm in bed, but yeah, I stayed up for your show.
Well, yep, it's not going to be a super late night. I know a lot of people got to work in the morning. I just wanted to play some records for everybody. Nice.
That was cool, Jeff. Cool stuff.
So, Wendy, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. I have a question. Anyone in the chat can help me. I went to a estate sale today, and I got Don a helmet. And I'm wondering if there's anyone that can, like, I don't know, strip it down and do it like a one-eyed cat, like Don's is. His decal.
Ooh, possibly.
I'll show you what it looks like. I mean, it came in this sack. Let me get it out of this freaking bag thingy.
What'd you think of that
You want
record of the
to
Pontiac?
Or you want to rap, or?
Well, it needs to be, his cars are white.
Okay.
So I need this all white, and I need his, like, his logo on it for his YouTube channel.
Huh. I might be able to help you out with that. I used to paint some motorcycle helmets.
I mean, I don't know if it needs sanded down, But when I got this thing lifts up somehow right here. Well, the shield lifts up too. It still had the film on this on the inside. Like you rip off.
Yeah.
I ripped that off, and it is a DOT, and it has a microphone, a little hickey jigger right there. I don't know what that's for.
Huh.
It's a nice helmet. It's like dirt track style helmet, I call it. Or
That is neat.
motocross.
And on the shield, when that runs, those like wires that run from the one side and it goes over to here, and then right down at the bottom where the wires stop.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's a microphone or what, but it plugs in right. Something plugs in right there. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so you stay in contact with the pit crew or the crew chief, either or. When you're out racing or
And it has vents like in the front, like so you can breathe, and then in the back.
That's interesting.
I only paid $20 for it.
Dan makes a good point, and I have done this. You can paint a helmet with rattle cans if you have good technique and can finish it well. Dan, you are 100% correct. Testers makes lacquer paint you can buy at hobby stores in small cans that is excellent for that. They even make a wet lacquer clear. Jabo also has.
Do you have to sand it down?
You would want to sand it. You would want to clean it, sand it, and prime it, just so the paint adheres.
I'm sure you had to take like the way this is hooked.
Yeah.
You have to take that off somehow.
Yeah, you'd probably have to really disassemble that thing. Might not be that hard to do though. Not really quite sure.
But it opens It opens here. Hold on. It opens here, and then if you hit this, it opens the
okay.
whole thing.
That does look like a roundy round helmet, doesn't it, Brian?
It does, yeah, it does. If Russell was in the house, he could confirm it. It looks like a dirt track helmet.
It does.
It says
Yeah.
G-Max on it.
That is an interesting one.
I
But
bet
it's
it
a
was
nice
expensive
helmet.
new.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks like it is a nice helmet. That would be a Jabo says 400 grit, sand it down. Dan, airbrush is the next step up. But yeah, I would definitely sand it and prime it, paint it, clear it. But you probably have to take it completely apart.
Yeah, and I don't want to break it.
Max Wedge,
I don't
Dick
know if
Dashley
it's
says,
like-
"What's the
they're built
ET for Snell cutoff?" That's a good question. If anybody knows that, put that answer in the chat for Max Wedge. So I do want to show you some other neat things real quick, because I'm going to be playing a lot more of these as the weeks go on. This one here is Swing Up 1966 program. This was another promotional item from Chrysler Plymouth. Another neat one. It's kind of cheesy, but it's good. It's Chrysler Motor Corp 1966. And here's a rare one. Brian, you might appreciate this. This is a flexi disc, but this is from Holden. Modern Motor Test. This came from Australia. It's for the Holden Moneros.
Oh, wow.
Overseas. Yeah, it's kind of neat. And then a bunch of miscellaneous ones, but here's another neat one, Brian. This one I found, Oldsmobile Toronado. Look at that. This is kind of like James Bond themed. Oldsmobile presents Sounds of the Toronado. every 66 Oldsmobile, Toronado inspired. Side 1, hear the sounds of the Toronado. Side 2, John Shorty Powers takes you on a musical ride in the spacious 66 rocket action Oldsmobile. And I've dug this one out because of Jabo himself. It's actually a flexi disc. It's like a really thin. I don't know how well it's going to play because it's got a crease in it, and I don't think I've ever listened to it, but we will at some
It's like
point.
a 425 Super Rocket. Yeah.
Yeah, a story and
370
sound.
horsepower that year.
Yeah, can you imagine that?
66. Yeah.
Wendy, I think the best person to talk to on that, one, because somebody made a good point, if it's still certifiable after you repaint it, I would ask John Wilburn. He might have the answer to that.
Okay.
That's what I would do. Wendy, how's Don tonight?
Oh, he's in bed. He has to work tomorrow morning.
Ah,
He's doing pretty good though. But we always borrowed helmets for Buddy and like JB and all them. We'd always borrow extra and we'd take 3.
yeah.
But last year we borrowed 3 and then Buffalo Brian brought 2 from New York. And the only one that fit Don was one Buffalo Brian had. But this one here fit Don pretty good. Because I put
Nice.
it on when I was at the estate sale. It was loose on me. And I'm like, oh, it'll fit Don's big ass head.
Well, we got an answer from John Wilburn. Welcome, Mr. Wilburn. Max Wedge Dick Dasterly for HRA. Snell helmet 2015 or newer is required for cars running 764 or quicker in the 8th mile. DOT is acceptable for cars slower than that. What
It's
did
okay.
Don? 764? I mean, that's still a respectably quick car, definitely. So, what I did last year is, and this kind of saved my ass. I bought a. Let me dig it out real quick because I had the open face like Easy Rider helmet, and in order just to be more compliant, I bought a Race Quip full face, and it is a Pro 20 helmet. And when I looked this up, actually, it is good enough for what I'll need in my dragster. So it's kind of a nice thing to have.
Where do you find a
You gotta
date?
wear Nomex. This.
Where do you find a date
Go
on
ahead,
a helmet?
Colin.
A date on a helmet, there should be a tag inside of it.
Well, I see the tag. It just says extra, extra large.
Huh. Say, I would,
I didn't see anything else in it.
let's see here.
It might be
I mean,
under the
I'm-
line.
Ask
Colin.
John to hop in here real quick.
I'm blind as a bat, so
Yeah. Usually the liner comes out of
Yeah, it might
the
be
helmet
somewhere in
screen,
that-
so you
in
can
that
watch
liner.
it for hand. It might have a date code under the liner.
Max Wedge, cheapest Snell I could find last year was 140. Yeah, helmets are getting expensive. And to your point, Brian, I do have to get a fire suit.
well, Don searched this
I'm gonna
helmet
get
up,
mine through Simpson.
and it was almost a $200 helmet, and I already paid $20 for it.
Are really, really expensive. But you're
Mhm.
protecting your
Mhm.
cranium. So that's I don't have a whole lot up in mine, but a lot of people do.
I mean, it was like my last $20 in my purse, cash wise, I had on me. It's like, man,
Still a good
this shit's
deal.
expensive. And then I came across this helmet. It's like $20. I gotta get it. Then we were going to the
Yeah.
Harley shop
Oh,
for
I-
a couple $100.
Nice. There was 2 reasons I went with the full face helmet. One of them being, with the new regulations and a lot of tracks and all that, I didn't know what my car was going to run. So I just went ahead and did that. And keeping your head safe to me was important, but to me it was like, well, wait a minute here. If I was to smack something, my face is open, and that steering wheel looks pretty goddamn hard, you know.
Save your teeth.
Save my teeth, save my nose, save all that fun stuff.
Right.
Colleen, the reason why I am not having my camera on tonight is I live in a rural area and I have been having horrendous network capabilities today. I work from home and I notice it all day, and it's just slow and the camera takes up a lot of bandwidth. So I was figured, you know, when I need to turn it on. But it just last live I had, Brian was on it. I kept on flaking out. So,
Colin, you can't see him because
but it is me. It's not my twin.
you can't see it because his facial hair is growing more in his head hair.
I know. I was about ready to shave my beard off, but the only reason I didn't is because I saw the temperatures coming up this week. Ed.
I'm just joking, Jeff.
I know. I think it's hilarious.
I got Don one of them shavers for the head to go bald, completely bald. He won't let me do it.
Really?
Nope. I said, why can't you look
Interesting.
like Jeff? He's like, I'm not going that bald. It's cold. Because it's still
Yeah.
hunting season, so
Yeah,
he won't let me
I
go
t-
skin in his head.
well, see, this time of year, believe it or not, I am legitimately wearing a stocking cap pretty much 24/7. Well, not when I go to bed, but always wearing one. And what I'll end up doing is I'll end up shaving my beard off at the wrong time. Then I'll be like, crap, I should have kept it. But yeah, we're gonna get some crappy weather, Wendy. It's gonna come.
Yeah, we're getting some too here this weekend, I think. And I have to work this weekend, so
38 POS makes a good point. He says, you can't add the safety equipment just when you need it. That's too late. That's true. That is true.
Don might have to come and get me from work.
Max
I
Wedge, I shave my head every spring, a lot cooler in the summer. Yeah, it is. It is. You don't have to spend as much money on haircuts or shampoo. Long Island Mopar has a 74 Charger, and he also has a 66 Coronet. I think he said it was his dad's, and now he is the caretaker of that. Just a little 318 two-barrel. Still a cool car. Any old car still on the road is cool. I'm of the, I used to be diehard Mopar, and I still am, but I got a Ford, and I'm building a small block Chevy powered dragster. I work with Pontiac stuff, whatever we get our hands on. But I think in today's world, this is my one political rant for the night. All us gas, old school cars band together to fight this modern EV bullshit. It's the only way to do it. It's the only way to stay strong. Better to have one and not need it. Exactly, Dan. Oh, man. Brian, how's your work week been?
Today went good. Doing diesel work again on the boss's tow truck, and
Yeah.
just went by seat of the pants. The previous couple jobs working on school buses, the experience came in handy. Dealing with deaf issues again, and pretty much all the diagnostic info, on the scanner, I just threw it aside and figured it was contaminated DEF fluid, and sure enough, it was. And
Yeah.
added 3 gallons of clean DEF, and the codes went away.
A friend of mine,
Just a hunch.
his business has got a fleet of trucks, and they're obviously all diesel for what they do. And the temperatures, what they're going to be around here in the negatives. He told all his employees, keep the trucks off. Don't go anywhere with them. Just leave them off. Take a week off because it's going to be cold. The EV movement is going up in flames, literally. Colleen. They are going up in flames. 38 POS. I keep my hair a bit long in the summer to keep the sun off my neck. That and silver reflects the sun. Well, this is true. See, that's going to be. See, if we weren't allowed, if we didn't have to wear helmets drag racing, I would just make sure the sun bounced off my head so the driver next to me wouldn't see the lights. A kid here has two early 60s big block 4-speed Fords. Does nothing with them. You know, that's sad. There's a lot of that, an absolute lot of that. There's a kid I went to high school with, and I'm 44, and he bought, before he was 16, he bought a 68 Charger. And it's nothing special. It was a 383 car, red interior, red paint. This whole thing was like decked out in red. And it was a pretty solid car. Didn't run when he got it. They put it in a barn, and it has been literally sitting there ever since and never even moved. I have said so many times, when do you want to sell that? 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 You know, and it's always I'm going to do something with it one day. And it's like, shit, such a cool car. Speaking of cars like that, I got a text from somebody, from John Cope today. Speaking of big block 4-speed Fords, John is not, where he grew up is not far from like where US 30 drag strip was and Oswego and all those northern Illinois, northwest area drag strips. And he went to go pick something up tonight at a guy's shop, and a guy had a 19 either 60 or 70 Ford Fairlane 500 factory big block 4-speed car that was converted pretty much to a drag car in 1970. And like I said, it's got all lettering on it, all the original stickers. It was an absolute time capsule. So yeah.
What engine, Jeff?
429.
427?
429.
Shock. Oh, okay.
Muscle car communion. Welcome. My neighbor has a 70 LS6 4-speed Chevelle that's been sitting in the garage 30 years, and he won't sell it. Yeah, man, seeing that old iron sitting around. My uncle had, ever since I was a kid, when I remember him, he had a 68 El Camino, and then he had a 72 SS El Camino, and it was 4-speed 350 car. I mean, it was optioned out, and they were complete but kind of ratty. All these years, it's like, hey man, I want to buy him. Hey man, I want to buy him. Hey man, I want to buy him. This summer, I found out he sold them pennies on the dollar, and I said, hey man, I'd have bought those. And he goes, oh, I didn't think you were serious. It's like, no, not at all. I'm only working on cars all the time. He's like, shit, if I'd have known that, you could have just came over and grabbed them. The 72 was cool because it was a real SS 4-speed car. It was green and black. Absolutely neat car. 38 POS. More cars than I'll ever have time for. Yeah, at least you have goals and stuff to work on. Wendy, what is your dream car?
I have a 62 Plymouth Valiant.
Nice.
We have two of them.
Yeah, I knew you had two of them. You gonna get one of them up and going?
They're both caught. They're both up and running.
Oh, nice. You need to race one.
Well, he has names for them. He named one, I named the other. His is Norm, and mine's Gurley.
Huh.
Norm is after his uncle, who he bought them from. That's the 5-barrel one, the 4 and the 1.
Yeah.
Mine's Gurley, which I named her after my Graham. And they're both 62 Plymouth Valiants. They're both the same thing. They're both white. But
very cool.
Gurley is push button on the dash, and Norm is on the floor. Gurley has, I think it's a 225. Norm has a 440 in it.
Yeah, I knew Don's had that 440 with that 5-barrel system going on. That's a pretty cool setup.
Yeah, and he hopefully next year, John did a tranny for us
Yes.
for the 440, and hopefully next year that's going to be put in Norm.
That'd be really cool. See, you guys need to do a husband and wife race.
Oh, that's going to happen.
That would be cool. You could like settle whatever household. You know what? Screw it. If whoever wins, whoever loses has to do the house chores for a solid month.
That ain't going to happen. Because he's not allowed to touch my stuff. He's not allowed to touch my washer, my dryer, my vacuum. He's not even allowed to run the vacuum cleaner.
Oh, wow.
I won a vacuum cleaner from, well, I didn't. Don won Bondo Billy.
Yeah.
Don won anything off of Amazon. One thing up to $200.
Oh, neat.
Well, Don blew up my freaking vacuum cleaner. So
how the hell did he blow up your vacuum cleaner?
Because he had it up in the extra bedroom last year for inside work for Norm.
Oh, that's right. He was porting the heads.
Yeah, he blew up my fucking vacuum cleaner. So he got me a new one from Bondo Billy.
That's hilarious.
The bomb.
That's freaking hilarious.
You could only get one item up to $200. And Don got their vacuum cleaner.
Well, at least he was thinking of you.
Yeah, my vacuum cleaners sound like a freaking torpedo.
Well, he could have had a. He could have had
good parts.
True.
Well,
this is true.
My son came here. He wanted me to cut his hair. I said, okay, wait till you hear my vacuum cleaner. As soon as I turned it on, I went, whoop, pow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't hear very long. I bet you the neighbors did. I used it once after Don had it upstairs, and he blew it up. But I'm the one that started it, but it sounded like a freaking
shavings.
Hey, look at that. Colleen and Damien are going to have a mom versus son race this year. Might be some side wagers going on there with that one. No, Don. Buy car parts, not a vacuum, unless it's a vacuum secondary. Ooh. I like that. I like that.
Because Don came to my work that day. He's like, Wendy, John messaged me and said I won such and such from Bondo Billy. And you had to respond in certain hours. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm getting a new vacuum cleaner. He's like, okay. When I get home from work, he's like, well, get on there and let me know what you want. I wanted a Kenmore canister one, but they didn't have what I wanted. Because that's what he blew up on mine. So
well, that's not good.
It was like an upright one. It comes apart and you can take it up the steps. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, those are nice to have. Those are nice to have. So I got a fireplace that I use constantly this time of year in my basement. And even it working 100% optimal, you still get like a fine ash sometimes. I notice it when I vacuum quite a bit. Brian, I'm going to play real quick just because I'm in the mood. We're in the Chrysler mood, and there's some new people in here that are Chrysler people. And I am going to play the 1966 Chrysler Plymouth announcement show featuring Imperial Chrysler Plymouth. The all-new stars for 66, swing up. The stars of the show in their order of appearance: Imperial, the finest of the fine cars built by Chrysler Corporation. Chrysler, if the 65 broke all sales records, think what 66 will do. Plymouth, let yourself go. Plymouth 66, all new Furies, Belvederes, Valiants, Barracudas, plus VIP, a very important Plymouth. So I'm going to play that real quick. I will be right back.
This is a bigger than better than ever year. 66. This is a bigger than better than ever year. Swing up, swing up. Get set for 66, the year of the swing up. The growth in industry is gonna be outstanding. The whole economy is gonna be
expanding.
upswing, upswing. Every prediction tells us we're on the upswing. What opportunity there's gonna be to sell up your high hopes you can fill, 'cause business will
Develop.
In 66, this country's gonna come on strong.
And Chrysler Plymouth's gonna come on strong right along.
Swing up on the upswing, swing up on the upswing, swing up. Boom year, this is the bigger, better than ever boom year. And Chrysler Plymouth's in this boom that we've discussed. So join this business boom.
Don't ever think about bust.
Swing up, move now. Ready, get set to get competition should go. In 1966, you're gonna swing around. Let's start that swing up now. Come on, everybody. Let's do the latest dance craze. The one that's sweeping the discotheques all over America. It's not the twist, not the frug, not the monkey, not the Watusi. It's the Plymouth a-go-go. You wanna step with all those swingers? You wanna ride the newest rage? You better latch on to the latest, like the lady in the cage, doing Plymouth a-go-go, Plymouth a-go-go, like the Plymouth automobile. It's the dance with the go-go feel that you get just behind the wheel of a Plymouth a-go-go-go. You gotta join that youthful movement. You gotta dig that youthful style. Whether you're sweet 16 or 16, give that youthful fling a trial. By going Plymouth a-go-go, Plymouth a-go-go. Doesn't cost much money at all, and it's one luxurious ball when you heed the beautiful call of a Plymouth a-go-go-go. Watch that engine go, watch her power grow. I call that Plymouth drive. See the fine design of her body line, so alert and alive and kicking. The Valiant is a winner. The Barracuda is a fastback with utility. The Fury's hot, and now they've got A fine new Plymouth that they call the VIP. Plymouth a go-go. Plymouth a go-go. Built to fill each customer's need. It's got beauty, power, and speed. To the market, this car is keyed. It's a Plymouth. It's the goingest, showingest, roomiest, moviest, most luxurious Plymouth Satellite. Go, go!
Well, that's quite a funky one. We'll do side B here in a little while. Yeah, but that one, I tell you what, they don't do promotional things like they used to. That is definitely an odd one, but still at the same time cool. That record does have a little bit of a crack in it, but that one's another one hard to find. New, now my Plymouth is a cheap Pacifica. Yep. Dan is playing online pool and listening. Thanks, JYD. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of those to play. Figured it's a good waste of time in the winter time to listen to that type of stuff. Wendy, yes. Wendy says he did. Last year's NNN was Calvin's dad's first time back in the seat. He lost to Dallas. I think everybody lost to Dallas.
Wasn't me.
That was one
Colleen.
mean. Oh, sorry, Colleen. That was one mean Thunderbird.
You'll get me and Colleen mixed up, man. JB says we need to stay away from each other, and I ain't even near her. He said we're trouble.
We're all trouble in some sort of ways. Brian, what's the weekend plans other than shoveling, scooping, staying warm, trying to at least?
Oh, my driveway is 455 feet long, so I don't know yet. See how much snow I get and how bad it drifts.
Dan, you are right. You could hear the 1950s still in that one. Yep, that was 1966. They still had a carryover in their advertising, it sounds like. Still quite funky and cool. Oh, man. It has been a long night here. Yeah, my main concern, believe it or not, is I think once we get out to Springfield, which is an hour here, I think we'll be all right. It's just everything else, you know.
I got nothing to get down there.
What's going to look like? I know.
Chevy got wrecked like it built it. It just sucks not having a big 4x4 this time of year.
Yeah, I know. I used to have a pretty awesome Jeep Cherokee XJ that was all done up right, and that thing wouldn't get stuck for shit. Danny Boyd, kind of like Empire Flooring Carpet. Wasn't that 1-800-2300-EMPIRE? I think anybody in Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana,
Oh, yeah, I remember
probably
that
heard
commercial.
that. Oh, yeah. Everybody heard that. When the snow comes, my driveway gets shorter. I'm not fighting the drifts. Yeah, you know, I have a neighbor that drives around with a four-wheeler and a plow, and I think I'll just wait for him. Danny Boy,
Hey.
WGM on cable is where I seen it. Yep.
Did you guys see where that lady posted her house for sale? And then her fucking driveway was gone?
Yeah, somebody stole her driveway.
Yeah. They came in and dug it up.
How does that even happen? Can you imagine that?
They came in and like took it away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The Victory Auto Wreckers commercial. Yes, that is another classic right there. WGN. If you lived... WGN in the mornings when I was a kid was great. Although, I always got pissed off because I guess I didn't realize how that type of stuff works. It's like, wait a minute. I'm sitting here eating my breakfast and watching this on TV, and I got to go to school. What about all these sons of bitches that are sitting here watching Bozo when they are supposed to be going to school? Always wanted to go to that. Always wanted to play the grand prize game. I'd get buckets and practice it and shit. It's like, man, I can win a bike or a tube of toothpaste or something. Yeah, Brian, that's my concern is from where I live to like the Springfield area in the morning. And then what's it going to look like when I come back?
What time are you going to leave, you think? 4 or 5?
No, because they don't open till 9. I'll probably leave at like 7. Probably 6:30 or 7. At least let some snowplows get out. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it's going to be all right.
Well, I gotta jump off here. I gotta make a phone call quick.
All right. Thanks for joining, Wendy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Tell Don I said hello.
Oh, I will.
Have a good night.
Night.
Good night. And Dan, you are right. It is 1-800-583 or 588-2300. Nathan, you were disappointed when you finally went there. You know what probably happened? Probably everybody saw that and flocked there and got all the goodies. Captain Kangaroo, Mickey Mouse Club. I was a kid in the 80s, so I was born in 79, so I watched a lot of, the G.I. Joe, Transformers, all that fun jazz. Although at night, because my dad worked weird hours, I didn't really watch, like, normal programming for kids. It was like Night Court or Hill Street Blues or that Vietnam show, Tour of Duty. Those were great. A-Team. Brian, I found a block. Was the economy that bad in 66? Must have been. I found a 68 large journal 327 block. And it's they went to the large journal in 68. So it looks to be a pretty decent block. I'll send you a link to it because, like I said, we're putting together another race engine, and I want to do mine in 302 cubic inches. I could go the 327 route with some other things. However, the 68 was large journal, and your ability to find a good forged large journal crank is much, much, much easier. So I'm kind of looking at that. It's just, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Small journal will feel like more power. Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
Oh, I know. 9,000 without titanium valves.
That thing's gonna scream.
Yeah.
Scream the RPMs.
Good price, or?
Yeah, it's like for the block, it's been fully machined. That's the other thing is I asked, what was the machining? I want to find the machine shop that did it because we can machine all we want, but boy, this is a cheap price. It's been, surface, it's been board, everything. I got questions. Jabo says around here.
I think all the 327s were 2 bolts.
2 bolt, yeah.
Jabo
says around here you were the man if your AM radio could pick up WLS. Do you know what's crazy about that? It's a good story. So when I did the stuff with Norm, on a clear night, WLS at its peak could be heard all the way out to LA. That is absolutely no joke. And different times of night and all that, it was such a strong signal you could hear it at different places. That's why he started advertising. He would fly anybody in from anywhere if they bought a new car from him. And that worked. Large journal 283 crank. Yeah, that would work too because that's 3-inch stroke. WLS had a lot of cool stuff. Even when I was a kid, they were AM. They went from WLS 89 to then they called it 890, same thing. And then they had the WLS FM, but WLS did a lot of cool stuff. You know, as a little kid, he used to listen to a lot of animal stories. Larry Lujak was a legend. He's actually got a really good book put out many years ago. If you ever get a chance to read that, it's a good one.
Gonna use a 5.7 rod, Jeff, or 5.800 or
Um,
6-inch?
so
I know
I've been
Chevy
looking at
has
different.
aluminum.
I've been looking at different um, different rods out there and all that. And from what I'm finding, a lot of the aluminum race rods are in a 6-inch length, which is fine. Obviously, pistons are not cheap, so I'm looking. I've been trying to make my Frankenstein 600 Elbrox match, probably back to 750 Carters. But yeah, it's just been kind of a crapshoot. I got the Hillborn for
DSS
one.
or Race Check got the best price in forged pistons looking around myself.
They do, and after we're gonna have to run a forged piston and all that, and it's gonna be getting hit with methanol. So the reason being on those aluminum race rods versus like some of the other rods is the RPM, the rotating. We want that rotating mass like super light, but we'll figure it out. We'll
The
figure it out.
pistons and the wrist can do more than anything. Take my
See,
loads
I
out
don't
the
think
crank.
Dan, I don't think there was a large Journal 283 crank because I have a lot of the 283 cranks from the 50s that are steel, and they were all small. All the ones I've got are small Journal. They're like 1183 or something like that. I've got a bunch of those. 3 1406s, different boosters in all three. Wow. Yeah, that does make things a little crazy. I'm not sure why Chevy went to a large Journal 327 though in 68. I'll have to do my homework on that. The
I
only
don't
thing
think it
good about
matters.
it, the only thing good about it is you can find that Eagle makes actually a good forged crank, 3-inch stroke, large Journal. So we'll see. I'm still looking around, look different combinations. I do have a set of, probably not going to use them just because of the age, Brian. They are a JE piston for a 4-inch bore, like 13-1 for a 6-inch rod. They are new old stock. I found in a box sitting in Jimmy's garage.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
50
Dan,
50
they were all.
with them. They'll
Yes,
hold up or not.
Dan. Yes, all 350s were large Journal. What I might do is find a three. I found a 354 bolt main at a good price. Just trying to figure out how to go get it. But the nice part about it is, like I said, you can get that 3-inch crank from Eagle. So I might go that route. And it's a 4-bolt main. I'd feel much more comfortable with a 4-bolt main. Brian, how far are you from Chicago?
Downtown Chicago, 100 miles exactly.
Okay.
I don't know, we're from Joliet.
Okay. The large journals gave more overlap between the mains and rod journals for longer strokes.
Crank is a little bit stiffer, Jeff.
Yes. So what do you got going on with your
Gotta keep the
Pontiacs?
bearing speeds down. What's that?
Dang. What are you doing with your Pontiacs?
Nothing right now, just working. I got to save the money for a machine shop and one more set of diamond pistons to fix that Grand Prix engine, like I told you about.
Yes.
I really sucked. My air cleaner stud broke and went down into the engine and into number 7. I was just driving home from work.
Max Wedge said, "I'd trade an 8 3/4 narrowed housing for matching 600s. Don't care if it needs to be rebuilt." Man, those must be hard to find. The 1406 that's an early one, isn't it?
Ed wants to
Damn.
fix that block yet, that 76.
Yeah.
He wants to put them in this channel. Like, all right.
Yeah.
He wants to sleeve it.
I have never sleeved anything, but it looks like a very interesting process.
Oh, you haven't done that yet at Jimmy's?
No,
Okay.
no, he won't
Yeah,
sleeve shit. He doesn't like doing that. I think it's because of his age and what, you know.
yeah, Ed wants to take it on.
It's a cool process, though.
Man, it was an awesome engine.
Yeah.
Still is. It's got to be fixed. 7,200 and cast rods and cast crank and stock pistons, original rings. Can you believe that?
I can believe it. I can believe it. How many miles did that last, though?
About 5,200. About a year
It's
and a
not bad.
half playing around.
Hmm.
I think it'd still be going if that air cleaner stud didn't break and go down.
What kind of noise did it make?
It actually shut off going down the road and then it came back to life. Like,
No
what
kidding.
the? Like somebody shut off the magneto. That's what it was
Interesting.
like. Yeah. And it was missing bad, of course.
Oh, I can only imagine. I can
Yeah.
only
A few
imagine.
seconds later, big, huge cloud of steam, behind the car. So, the crack of cylinder wall, number 7.
Dan, anyone try to stuff a 350 crank in a 283 block? You know what, that would have to, the journals would have to be turned down. I
Yeah, I
have
pushed
no
that
idea
Grand Prix a mile back to my farmhouse alone. You should
what
have
kind
been
of,
there. You should have put that
yeah,
on YouTube.
yeah.
4,200 pounds, there's me pushing it. Cars going by.
Oh, I bet you were pissed. So a 283 has a
No, I
bore and
wasn't pissed.
stroke.
I was bummed out bad. Fuck.
283 has a 3.875 inch bore and a 3-inch stroke. So let's look at that real quick. I want to see the bore and stroke combination on that. So the bore and stroke combination on if you were to put because a small block Chevy's got a 348 stroke. So if you had a 3.875 inch bore with a 3.48 inch stroke crank and 8 cylinders, you would come up with
3,800
three.
stroke is a 410 small block Chevy combo usually.
Well, with the 3.875 bore and the 3.48 stroke, you would have a 328 cubic inch engine. Isn't that the freaking 327? Isn't that the 327 is 4-inch bore.
Yeah, 4-inch bore. It won't work as planned. The valves are going to be shredded bad, especially the intake side.
Okay, so the 327 has a 4-inch bore with a 3.25 inch stroke. So it'd just be an oddball bore and stroke. It'd be kind of neat. Definitely be kind of neat.
It's like a
307.
Pontiac 350, like I told you. It's only going to make 80% of the power, that it could with a 4-inch bore. That's yeah, it's about the same bore you're standing. I want to say 3,800. No, 393, I believe.
That'd be a wild. That would be an interesting build to turn that
It'll make
down.
torque, but yeah, it won't make the top end power. It just can't breathe
Yeah,
because of the valve shrouding.
Torque Weezer. That would be interesting.
It'll pull hard at like 3,000, 4,000, and you'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
More than likely.
I put a really gunked up 307 in my 67 Camaro. Lasted one night, dual quads. Whoops. Whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. I wouldn't mind finding a 283, a good 283, and do the old school 301. That was a very common, Junior Fuel
Supposed to
C-Class
be
dragster
sweet.
build. Yeah, Jimmy ran many of those, and that would be kind of a neat nostalgia build. Not really any good heads for the 3875 bore. Yeah, there were some of the 283 heads were okay, but see, and that's the other thing is like, what would you need to do to those heads to make them work very well with Hillborn injection? I mean, that thing, it'd be interesting. See,
I think
Max
again,
Wedge,
it was
my dragster's got it's a quote unquote Power Glide based transmission. So it was actually CRT Performance transmission out of Clearwater, Florida, and it's got the Dead and Bear case. So it's a really good transmission. It's gonna have probably a 5,000 stall. It's got a trans brake. It's got a bunch of aerospace component parts. I have no idea. I haven't even gone through it yet. Power pack heads for the 283. That'd probably work pretty well. So that's what I got to look out for too, Brian. I got to be making sure that whatever I do build has the compression for the fuel I want to run, but also what heads are available. Because I am going to do iron heads on this engine. Like I said, I'm gonna do this as nostalgia as I can for the most part. I mean, there's some modern stuff that I'm
what does
gonna
Jimmy
have to
run?
do, but
11.5 to 1 or 13 to 1, or what does he prefer?
the lowest compression ratio he would go is 13 to 1. He says anything methanol mixed with any sort of nitro does not like anything under 13 to 1. The last engine he built was 14.5 to 1. His last race engine he built. Camel hump heads are good too. I drove my buddy 72 Nova 307 Power Glide, and we get a low rubber. Wouldn't that be cool just to have a 72 Nova with a 307 and Power Glide as a daily driver? I'd definitely rock that. Camel hump heads. See, that's what I got to keep looking out for. I wonder if an LT1 would wake up a 327 any. That's a good question. LT1 cam. So here's a good one for you, Dan. You can actually make a junkyard DZ302. I was going to build one until I ran into some, well, I'll put it this way. It came down to cost and availability. So you can take a Vortec block, Vortec 350 block, and they made a baby Vortec engine. I think it was an Oldsmobile. It's called an L99. It was a 4.3 liter V8, and it actually had a 3-inch stroke crank in it. And it had an oddball rod length in it to use standard small block Chevy pistons. The only problem with it is those rods are absolute shit and they're hard to come by. So of course you can take a standard 5700 rod and shove in there, but the original 302 also ran the 5700 rod, but they had a funky compression height piston at 1.805. And those pistons are just expensive. I was trying to do a junkyard build, easy 302, and it just became a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. Yeah, it is hard to get them for a 302. So TRW made them, obviously no longer. There is a company that is making an exact replica of 302 factory pistons. I bought a set of them. They were absolute hot, rotten garbage. The castings were really bad. Weight on them, they were much heavier than the factory 302 piston, and the weight on them was all over the place. So I decided not to go that route at all. So unless you were to find that oddball rod length, if you found the 4.3 V8, you could have those rods and I guess clean them up, but you're not going to be able to spin it real high. That's the problem. They were just junk rods. Everything I read about was shit.
I think of Cal Racetrack in California or DSS. I think they're in Illinois still, St. Charles.
Long Island Mopar. My neighbor has 65 Chevelle with a built 396, 12.5 to 1, runs on 93, fast car. 700 R4 with 410 gears and ladder bars. That sounds like one hell of a fun combination. That would be a fun combination.
What about all those engines Jimmy has? I mean, he won't put one in your rail or
Well, see, all the 283s, believe it or not, Brian, like he had a pile of 283s. Um, he had a pile of 283s that he had never gone through, and they were legitimately all junk. Like literally, the blocks were just shit, and he had some other blocks that we ended up building for people in the engines, like off our channel, of doing stuff. Now everything we build is on the channel, and he's got like his race stuff, but man, like we got some stuff sitting around. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like we are running out. Just remember, got to grease up 440 block and crank got from bunk. Probably rusty already. Um, I rode around a '69 SS 396 TH 400 Chevelle in high school. Damn cool car. Yep, old school hot rod for sure. Yeah, we need to build back up our stock. There's a Jimmy knows we're supposedly a honey hole full of stuff that we just need to go and look at. But yeah, we went through our small block Chevy stuff. We have
I got a
a real
13 small block Chevy here. It was Bill's. It was going
yeah.
to go in his 85 Corvette, and he was going to street race somebody my age way back 30 years. It
Oh wow,
never happened. Yeah, it never fired. It's complete.
that's that tall deck engine, isn't it?
No, it's a 410 small
Okay,
block Chevy, 400 base,
okay,
300 stroke. It's got Crowder Sportsman rods and air forged. Castillo crankshaft.
huh?
Yeah. G1
Was it
heads. But, the
interesting?
same
I
head
bet you.
variant knocked over that I sold on eBay. Should make 500 easy, if not 575 for an
Yeah,
induction. But, you know, it's got a radical Crowder camera. I forgot the specs he told me, but it's like 266 or something, F50. It'll wind out. Still there? I lost you. Waiting for Jeff. You got Starlink, Jeff, or is it cable TV, internet? Oh boy. I'm gonna get out of here, get on the chat, Jeff.
Sorry about that. Yep, lost the host. Internet went out, which kind of sucks. So yeah, this time, Brian, it wasn't what happened last time. Internet is cutting out in and out. So what I'm gonna do is call it a night. I do have to work in the morning, and obviously have some internet issues. But I do appreciate everybody coming in. Long Island Mopars, thanks for joining us. Dan, Max, Wedge, everybody out there, thanks for joining us. And I will get something thrown together for next week. Who knows? Maybe if the weather's shitty and I have internet and power this weekend, I'll do another one. With that, guys, I appreciate everyone coming in. And I will see you guys next time. Later.